Emotional intelligence is key, not just in friendships, in relationship, but it would also help you in your career. Hey, guys. Welcome and welcome back to another episode of 30 Plus Click with Max and Yo-Yo. For the last few weeks, we've been talking about friendship, and today we're going to be discussing something that we think is very important, which is how to develop your emotional intelligence. But if you haven't seen our faces, you've never been here before, I am Max and she's Yo-Yo, and on this channel, we offer life advices that we believe would help you level up. So if that is something that you're interested in, please stick around, be our friend, be our homie, hit the like and subscribe button and share this with a friend or two. But like I mentioned in my introduction, on today's episode of the 30 Plus Click, we are going to be discussing ways at which we can help develop emotional intelligence that would help you react better, whether in your friendship or in your relationships. So if you found this video because you saw one of our fake friends videos or our real friends videos, this is the next logical video for you. But before we go into that, Yo-Yo, what is emotional intelligence for people who don't even know what that is?
Well, Matt, when we talk about emotional intelligence, some people really mistake emotional intelligence for intelligent quotient. It is actually different things. Intelligent quotient is very different and it's nothing in comparison to emotional intelligence. If you have a very IQ, yeah, you might be able to graduate with maybe with a first class or a second class, or you might just lead when it comes to intelligent conversations. But when it comes to the emotional aspect, the emotional component that drive things, either in your personal relationship or in your professional space, guy, without that, you will not be able to navigate your ways around it. Things to think about when we talk about emotional intelligence. You want to think about your self awareness. That's one component when it comes to emotional intelligence. You also want to think about your self regulation, understanding that the world does not revolve around you. There are so many people in your space. You need to share that space. So that's a little bit about self-regulation. Another component is motivation. You need to have that mental strength, that self will to motivate yourself. Another thing you also want to think about when it comes to emotional intelligence is you look at your social skills. There's so many people around you. Sometimes you're very moody. Some other time you're alone. I don't know how to share my space. I don't like making friends. I'm into myself. Then you're not crown it all by saying I'm a melancholy or I'm a choleric. This is my temperament. You're deceiving yourself. You can be a melancholic person, but you still have some basic social skills, which is very important. And the icing on the cake is after identifying all this, you must be a person of empathy. So dealing and relating with people with some form of empathy is just very important, right? Even if we are not saying break your boundaries right here. We're saying have some empathy. You can still maintain your boundaries, maintain your principles, but have some empathy. Yeah, Max.
I love it. And that really summarizes everything we want to say here today. But to cap it up, to give you a definition of what emotional intelligence is basically about how you manage your emotions in every situation. So sometimes, like I mentioned, if you found this video because you saw one of our fake friends video, emotional intelligence will teach you how to react when you find out that maybe a friend is not, acting in the right way. Or maybe how do you react? Maybe you do need to take a little bit of a pause to reflect, because sometimes maybe the first line of, thinking, the first reaction that comes into your mind might not always be the best reaction. So emotional intelligence here will say to you, is this the right time for me to bring up this thing, or should I hold on to it and just pause. And while I'm talking about this in the context of friendship, like Yo-Yo said, this would also help you in your career. Being able to know when to go full steam ahead and being able to know when to pause. Like if people that know me professionally will always know that I say there's a quote I like to say, I choose the hill I want to die on. And that is one thing that I always say to you. Like when a problem arises, for me, it's like, is this the hill I want to die on? Do I want to dig deep and stand on this? Or do I want to like let it go and because maybe not react immediately and find a more opportune time, a different moment? Because sometimes people be like, oh, I'm not the kind of person, you cannot mess with me. No, 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 no. I'm not there's a way to do this thing. There's a way to do it. Is it true? No, did I lie? No, there's a way to do it. Like sometimes you have to pull back strategically to advance. You understand? And in pulling back strategically to advance is that's when you are determining your emotional intelligence. When does it make sense to advance? When does it make sense to react? When does it make sense to stay calm in the presence of pressure? That is how you develop. So, like Yo-Yo said, emotional intelligence is key, not just in friendships, in relationship, but it would also help you in your career. But underneath the layers of emotional intelligence is communication. And this is something that we're very big on in this channel. You understand? But communication sometimes, and one of the things that I've started to realize recently is everybody wants to say everything when you want to say it. Like you want to say it. Like I used to be like that, but I think with age, I've learned also like I want to say it, but I shouldn't say it. Like there's a quote that my mom used to say to me, like, if you're not sure if you should say drink water, if it's if it's pushing you like you must say it. Drink water, that way your mouth will be full.
God, that's a blessing.
Because it's true. Like sometimes, while we agree that you need to be clear with communication, this is a channel where we are big in communication. But knowing when to communicate is actually important. How to communicate, when to communicate, and why you're communicating is all the things that factor into emotional intelligence. Sometimes you read the room. You understand? This thing that I'm saying now, it's pertinent to me, but is this the right atmosphere to release what I'm about to say? Will anything that I say now be misconstrued in any other way than what I intended it to be? That's emotional intelligence. So recently I found myself in a personal situation and I really wanted to say something to somebody, but the atmosphere that we came into that situation with, it just didn't give room for that. Now, the old me would have advanced. It's like, I don't care. You will hear me and you will hear me now. But the grown up me, the me that has understood that like communication is two ways and there's an atmosphere. You have to build an atmosphere for communicating, right? You have to build it very well. It has to be because in the wrong atmosphere, communication won't land. Realize that it's not the right time. I can show up in a different way and it's going to be okay. So communicating is a very key part of being emotionally intelligent. But beyond that, knowing when and how and why you're communicating is something that I would always say you should, pay close attention to.
And so, we've really talked a lot about self awareness. If you've listened to a lot of our love series, you will see where we really talked about self awareness. And in the next few weeks, just stay around. We would unpack self regulations, we'll touch on motivations, we're going to also touch on social skills, and we would never forget to touch about empathy. And so, when Max was talking about that communications, there's always it's just hanging around that self regulation, knowing when to keep quiet in the room and knowing when to talk and knowing when to walk away and knowing when to stand. There are some conversations that you know that these conversations does not even is you are not wanted yet, but you just why are you standing? Just why are you there? Like like I used to tell my kids, did this thing call your name? So that self-regulation, right, is very important. Why are you going out at this time? Do you have to go? Why are you replying that chat? Do you have to? Is there every comment on that group that you need to respond to? Why are you the first person to make that comment? There's this self-regulation, right? In a conversation, in a relationship, you need to regulate yourself, regulate your emotions, even your excitement. You need to regulate it. When you're sad, regulate it, right? My friend told me something when we were in university. I never forget. The world does not revolve around you. When she told me that, it slapped me right. I'm like, what does not revolve around? But right now, the world does not revolve around me. So please take it easy and regulate yourself. Regulate your moments, regulate your actions, regulate everything. Well, if you're the outgoing type, right, it's very important to regulate it as well. If you're the indoor type, it's also important to regulate yourself out of your house, right?
Ah, you don't give me stray bullet. I love it. Stray bullets. All of us introvert don't collect.
This year decide to regulate in the positive direction, right? So let's hang on this regulation some more and just start thinking about yourself. Where how am I going to regulate myself? And talking about regulation right now, is it the right thing that you have not subscribed to our channel? You check out this regulation. You enjoy all our posts. You listen to our love talks. You listen to our friendship. Not even one comment like, "Hey, Max and Yo-Yo, you guys are doing well." You tell me, "Oh, I love it. I love it." See, let's start this regulation right now, right now. Regulate yourself. Just share this this video. This will really help us in this self-regulation as we're just regulating ourselves, right? Max.
Oh, thank you. So that's really it. And I think the one final thought that I want to say before we wrap up today's episode is also know your strengths and your weaknesses. And I think that comes with self-awareness. So I used to say to people, I'm not very good with like unspoken verbal cues, non-verbal cues. You understand? This is me. I know myself. Like I don't used to be understanding those non-verbal cues. So I will say this: if there's something that you want to say to me, and probably you don't know how to say it, it's best that you say it, because if you're expecting body language, I'm very dense on that front. I'm the one that's telling you. So it's understanding that this is a weakness of mine and that I need help advancing it. You understand? So if you find yourself that you have a weakness that maybe you're not aware of, or maybe people around you are not aware of, and as I say this, it just occurs to me that people might use this as an excuse to further bad behavior. That's not what I mean. No, 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 no. I don't mean you be like, I cannot change. This is how I am. No, I don't believe in that. That's not it. No. If you are rude, you are rude. It's not how you are. Don't misquote me. That's not what I'm saying. They're just some small weaknesses here and there that everybody has. Everybody has a weakness here and there that probably isn't, they're not the strongest. Knowing when to ask for help and knowing when to say, hey, help me in this situation so I can be able to show up as my best self for you in this situation is the best thing that you can gift your friend, your relative, your lover, your career, your colleague at the office. Is the highest form of emotional intelligence. That being said, if you watched up until this point, thank you guys so much for watching today's episode of 30 Plus Click. Let us know what are some of the things that you're working on in your personal space to develop emotional intelligence, or some of the lessons that you've taken from this video and how you plan to apply them moving forward. We love you. Thank you for continuing to tune in, week out. We are seeing those numbers of returning viewers. We love you guys. Thank you for coming back week in, week out to watch our videos, to watch our short form content, our long form content. If you love this video, please like, subscribe, and share it to somebody who you think will benefit from it. But until next time, bye guys.
Bye.